crime, they'd still be prosecuting him and have an even stronger case. Mike, what do you say?
Maria, where is the crime? Where is the crime? And how can this possibly be fair to Donald Trump to be tried in New York City, okay, where the voter pool is 80-something% against him? I mean, we didn't try the World Trade Center bombers in New York City. Okay, you can't get a clean jury pool here, and gag orders are designed to protect the defendant, not corrupt judges, corrupt prosecutors, and witnesses that have shaky credibility, to say the least.
That's unbelievable. What a comment there. We didn't even try the 9/11 offenders. That's incredible. Yes, you were spot on. We are just getting started this morning. Quick break, and then we're watching this inflation story unfold. The April producer, about you.
Yeah, look, because this was not an accident. They want to rewrite history because this whole Afghanistan pullout was one of the worst things that's ever happened in the history of the United States of America. And it was at that point where Donald Trump finally overtook Joe Biden in the daily tracking polls. The disaster that was this Afghanistan withdrawal is what spurred on the entire vaccine mandate. Okay, this was one of the worst things that has ever happened in the U.S. and Jen Psaki is again trying to cover it up, trying to paint it in a more favorable light for her time in the White House and for the Biden administration and for the Democrats, and it's despicable.
You know, I mean, the Afghanistan botched withdrawal also created new and lasting friendships between our adversaries, China and Russia. After that, many adversaries got together. I mean, that's what all the foreign affairs experts will tell you, that it was the beginning of the rest of the world not believing America. Lee, all morning long. Leo, thanks very much for joining the conversation. We appreciate it. And good to see you. Mike, it's a big week of first quarter earnings. I want to kick things off right there. Home Depot reported mixed results this morning. It beat on earnings but missed on revenue. Same-store sales down 3.2%. The stock this morning is up 0.33%. We're waiting on Cisco Systems after the bell tomorrow, followed by Deere and Walmart on Thursday. Walmart already announced it's cutting hundreds of corporate jobs, asking workers in smaller offices to relocate to the company's bigger offices in Arkansas, New Jersey, or Northern California. The company also asking remote workers to return to the office. Walmart stock is up about 15% year to date. Mike, your thoughts on what we're hearing about the consumer from the Home Depot report, upcoming Walmart report, and of course we'll get retail sales.
Yeah, so
tomorrow.
From Home Depot, I don't know that we get that a good look into the health of the consumer, because the lack of transactions in housing, just low inventory, high interest rates, that slowdown in home turnover that is a problem for Home Depot, because when you buy a new house, you want to redo this and fix that, or if you want to fix it up to sell, that is in my mind what is due to their slowdown and their decline year over year in revenue. You look ahead to Walmart, very different story there. The trading down, as they have been calling it on Wall Street, due to the high cost of everything. People, especially the grocery shopping at Walmart, has been a really good revenue driver for them. However, grocery is a very low margin business. So what Walmart will be looking to do by cutting all these corporate jobs is juice their margins. So I'd expect good earnings from Walmart. I think this will be a very good quarter for them with very good guidance, because that, even though we're seeing pressure on the lower end consumer, what you're seeing is other consumers that are kind of at the higher end trading their way down. And then when Cisco and Deere both have good track records of beating earnings, even though there's not a lot of bullish sentiment around each one of those stocks. Deere just a slowing in the agriculture world, and Cisco, I mean, that it never quite returned to the heyday of the 90s of networking telecom equipment. It's a very cheap technology stock. In my opinion, it's something worth looking at.
By the way, that's an exclusive from the Journal, that they're cutting the hundreds of corporate jobs, asking some staff to move to the larger corporate hubs. I mean, of course, about a month ago, Walmart said rising operating costs and a challenging reimbursement environment make the care business unsustainable for us at this time. And that is referring to the clinics that they had loaded directly next to stores. But look, the consumer is going to be a major part of any expectation for economic growth. Leo, look at interest rates this morning. Higher rates have cut into consumers' finding more than 30% see tech stocks like NVIDIA as a possible hedge against inflation, Mike. 46% said that gold is the best safeguard against rising prices, but NVIDIA is there too. NVIDIA reports earnings next week, Mike. I know you like both NVIDIA and you like gold. What's your reaction to this survey? And what do you want to do as an investor? Let's say you hold NVIDIA. You've enjoyed all these gains in the last 2 years. Now you're going into, Judgment Day earnings for the quarter on the 22nd. What happens? What do you do ahead of those earnings?
Yeah, well, look, I think if you're long NVIDIA, you stay long, because I think this technology upgrade cycle for artificial intelligence and upgrading all the data centers to these next generation GPUs offered by NVIDIA and AMD and Marvel have so much more processing power that if you're not upgrading your data centers, you're going to be left in the dust by your competitors. And in terms of tech stocks as an inflation hedge, they're a spectacular inflation hedge. Over the last 20 years, the money supply is up 3.5 times. The price of gold has moved similar to that. However, tech stocks are up 10x when you look at the QQQs. And over the last 10 years, tech stocks are up 470%, even though the money supply has doubled. Gold is only up 75%. So the whole point of owning stocks in the long run is to beat inflation, is to have an excess return above inflation. And I think tech stocks, given their ability to change the world, the ability to have companies like NVIDIA that will double and triple their revenue year over year, in these unique situations, does provide for a lot of opportunity. However, owning some gold to lower the volatility of your portfolio is always a good idea too. And I think we're at the beginning of a multi-year bull market for gold at the moment.
Is there another group that offers the kind of growth that tech companies do?
Not even close. Not even close. Not even close.
Okay. All right. Reaction.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is a horrific retail politician. I'd imagine when it comes to making deals behind closed doors, she's pretty spectacular, because she's gotten herself to be the vice president without ever really winning anything. I mean, look, she fought for the nominations and for the party blessing in California, first in San Francisco, then to become state AG, then to become senator. Those weren't exactly contested races. And of course, she dropped out of the presidential primary without a single vote being cast. So, I mean, look, it just further exemplifies her inability to kind of motivate and persuade the public.
And another indication of, how far we have fallen. What else can you say? Really?
Yeah, look, this entire administration was supposed to be our return to normalcy.
Right.
It was supposed to be the adults were back in charge.
Yeah,
and I think now most of America realize that was a brazen lie by the media.
Yeah, and now they're trying to put their political opponent in jail, former President Trump, facing day 17 of his so-called hush money trial. Fox been wondering if they have a lead into what the inflation data will say today and tomorrow.
Maybe so. We've asked that question before, and it may be so, because all we know from the White House guidance right now is economy and jobs, and probably a hit to the Chinese EV market. But
yeah,
what are you going to say?
Mike, how do you see it?
So, look, this is part of the Biden administration's total destruction of Western civilization and our society, whether it be the 6 to 10 million people that have come over the southern border, to the botched Afghanistan withdrawal we talked about earlier, and now it's lawfare against his number one political opponent. And every single one of these trials that Trump is under, the 91 indictments, more than Al Capone, you can trace directly back to the White House. So the trial in Florida, the National Archives General Counsel was meeting with the White House counsel as early as April of 2021. Nathan Wade billed 16 hours, the Georgia special prosecutor billed 16 hours for meetings with the White House. And then, of course, in this trial, Matthew Colangelo was the number 3 political appointee at the Biden Justice Department, somehow leaves that position, one of the most coveted positions for any attorney in the country, to be a line prosecutor in the Manhattan DA's office to work on a case that was passed up by the special counsel under Robert Mueller, the Southern District of New York, the Federal Elections Committee, okay, the state of New York, and Alvin Bragg's predecessor, Cy Vance, only to drum up these charges because Donald Trump not only, I think he will be found guilty because this is not a fair place for him to have a trial. You have a judge whose daughter's raising all sorts of money off this trial, completely and totally conflicted, just to keep him off the political trail and to give the talking point that Donald Trump is a convicted felon of fraud in New York. The problem is with all of these, once you peel back the onion and you peel back the layers, you can see the emperor has no clothes, and it's having a boomerang effect not even the most skeptical Democrat could have predicted.
Yeah, it's true. And that's why you're getting everyone come out so adamant about this. We're going to keep spotlight on it. And today we'll watch that cross-examination and see where that goes. I want to thank you, Lee Carter.